When would you like me to hit record?
You've already hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the past.
And only whoever edits and whoever and only who or she whoever edits, they will first know when record happened.
And that in the past. Hey, everyone.
Welcome to the bunker.
Hey, everyone. We did that bit last time.
Yeah, we can't do that again.
We can't do that again.
No. Be me this time.
Hey.
No.
Ew.
Okay, this is
Oh,
me.
my word.
This is me being Josiah on the
hey,
bunker.
God.
Wait, listen. This is me being Josiah on the bunker.
That's the impression I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
him.
we're recording.
And that's the only thing I said.
And that's it.
You
The
don't
rest
have
is just
Taco Bell
crunching.
today,
Until
Josiah.
I
until
don't have
at
Taco
some
Bell
point you go, Joe,
because-
you forgot blah 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 blah.
Joe, you said this thing, and
Yeah.
then you didn't say
And then I
it.
didn't say it.
Yeah.
It's been mixed. I feel like it's
No.
mixed.
Oh,
It's definitely
no,
been
no,
mixed.
no, no, no.
No,
Definitely been mixed. As another editor of the podcast.
Josiah has been half
definitely
right.
missed.
Joe has been half right.
Roll the tape.
What are we even rolling?
Yeah, I
We're
don't
not
think we're
rolling
inviting
any
tapes.
again. Okay, Laura pointed this out before we started, and I think she's right. We all came in here ready to like debate each other.
Yeah, I walked down
I
with
don't know
my
why.
sandwich and I sat down on the couch and I looked around and y'all were debating stuff. Right,
you guys
and
were
left.
talking about what platforming gaming is, and me and Josiah were talking about the meeting that he bailed on today.
That's true. We all chose violence today.
And then
No,
he
no.
talked about how I left.
Everyone's in a good mood. I will say
Yeah.
everyone's in a good mood. Everyone's just ready to have their opinion heard.
Yeah, we're just ready.
There's
to
a
be
difference.
heard. So today was the most beautiful weather of all time.
Yeah, it was really
No, it
nice
wasn't.
out.
His opinion need to be heard.
My what?
His opinion.
I pulled out my summer clothes and I pulled out some jean shorts because
Love
I
it.
was gonna go take a walk and I'm wearing my like jeans with rips in them.
Yeah.
And then I was like, it's 70 degrees.
Yeah,
I
it
could
is.
go put shorts on
Yeah,
before
bro.
I do this.
You could just rip the rest, and then they're shorts.
just rip. Yeah, rip
They're
the rest.
halfway there.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They're hanging on by threads.
Living on bread.
There it is.
We're halfway there.
So Whirlwind Volume 2, Episode 9.
Volume
Episode
2,
9.
Episode 9.
The bunker.
This
That's
was
what
an
this
interesting
is.
one because we picked it up right where we left off.
Yeah.
Josiah, what was going through your head when you got DM?
Because this is my episode.
This is the one that
Yeah.
came
This is
out.
the one that I DM'd.
Yep.
What was going through my head?
Yeah, what was going through your head?
So, message in a bottle was that's pretty direct.
Yeah,
'cause
that's a nice one.
That's
Yeah.
a very easy thing to tell if
Little
I did it
softball.
or not. It's like, just whatever happens, at some point there's got to be message in a bottle. Very little room to mess that up.
And you can also just put whatever message you already had an idea for just in the bottle.
Yeah, like it can
So,
be anything.
done.
Like it's not.
Yeah,
it's
it's
also not
definitely
much
a
of a
good one.
roadblock because you can. It's a very easy device to use to move characters in a direction you want. That being said, characters took surprising directions right at the beginning, and I had to figure out how to corral things in
Yeah.
such a way
Yeah.
that we didn't have half the characters just sitting out for an episode.
Why?
Yeah.
Huh?
Just kidding.
Why did I have to?
Yeah.
Well, Joe, I couldn't think of another way at the time.
Joe wanted a Cal
And
episode.
in
I wanted
retrospect-
a
Cal Wendy episode.
Sorry.
I wanted a Wendy episode.
That
a
would
Wendy episode.
Yeah.
He was
in
gonna make it a
retrospect-
Wendy episode.
In retrospect, I kind of wish that I
Oh.
had let the two of you just go off on your own because
it's
that
all
could have
right.
been fun. And then but I was gonna have trouble, like in real time, doing something with Ace and June because, if I had done so, it would have been weird if when you came back from the mission because that would have not happened yet. Whatever
Bless
they
you.
were
Bless
doing.
you.
But because I did what I did, we now have to establish that, unlike we've established so far, time continues when we go on whirlwind missions.
Time does not continue.
Or time, well,
So
It does
It has now, which we've called. Oh wait.
the space-time continuum.
Well, we haven't acknowledged it yet in episode.
We haven't acknowledged it in episode, but that's mechanically what
But
happened.
we are aware that mechanic was sort of subverted a little bit.
Yeah.
So we'll see what that
My bad.
means.
I
Is it an
forgot how the
anomaly?
whirlwind
Is
worked.
it a new normal? We'll
No, but there's
find out.
reasons. We'll figure
Yeah.
it out.
Also,
Yeah.
I apologize. My nose is so stuffed.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Everyone gets sick.
Half of my nose is half stuffed.
Everybody gets sick.
Now you're just making them up. That's not a real song.
Yeah, well. Okay.
Well, yeah, it was a kind of wild episode. We learned a lot.
We did learn
There was a big old reveal at the end as well.
Yeah.
Actually, there's reveals all over the place.
Yeah.
In this
Reveal
one.
after reveal after reveal.
Well, it was basically just
After reveal.
essentially justifying Al showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a lot of trouble with that because
Yeah.
I couldn't decide how to play him. I
Yeah.
changed his voice a couple of times.
It's all right.
I couldn't decide if he was your uncle or grandpa for most of it. Maybe he was
Which
your
he
dad
definitely
at one
was
point
my
in
grandpa.
mind.
I tried to make it clear.
Yeah, you did.
Grunkle.
And then Grunkle.
Yeah, but now he's a grunkle.
Kind of stuck.
I feel like you went for the more difficult route in terms of justifying his appearance at the Whirlwind, but I also think it opens up more options in the future for
Yeah.
us. So like it was harder to do, I think, and I think you did a really good job tying it all together. And now that is tied up, like there's some exciting stuff
Yeah, and
to
exciting.
explore.
I feel like I teed up the next DM to potentially like use Al as a device.
Yeah.
To do something with, tie up some ends or
Well,
whatever. So we'll
yeah.
see how that unfolds.
Because Prospero died.
Yep.
Iterum disappeared.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And anyone else who was connected to the Whirlwind was a mystery and left. And
Yeah.
so now to have some sort of anchor connection
Yeah,
that
even
we
though-
can go seek out at the beginning or ending of episodes who actually has a connection with the Whirlwind is interesting for sure.
Yeah.
A little hub,
Yeah. And he doesn't
source
even
of info.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the same observatory either. It was a different one.
It was, yeah.
He had traveled in one of the observers because we knew there was multiple. We didn't know how many. And so you just know that it was one of them.
Yeah.
So cool. I love it.
So many things.
Yeah.
And then we found Swashbuckler Dread, whatever his
Matthias Dredd.
Matthias, Captain
Matthias Dredd.
Captain Dread.
Who's a good person.
He's a good guy. And he was in a box.
And he had traveled. Yeah, he was in one of the chests.
He's just like hanging out in a box.
Yeah. He got put in
I
the
love
box.
that that's what you got hung up on, Joe. You heard that. You
He was
said.
in a box? He's like, yeah.
That's funny.
Sometimes Josiah
Boxman.
Sometimes Josiah just does like Josiah things, like without really thinking about, like he's not trying to be like, this is going to be funny. It's just like a Josiah style thing of like, he was in a box. It's awesome. It's just, it's such like a you thing where
Yeah.
you're like, he's in the box. It's like just a box. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just in
He's
there.
in there.
Yeah, he's just in
he's,
there.
he's just in that box. Yeah.
That's just like where he is now.
And it's like, oh, okay. Cool.
You know what I really
Yeah.
liked?
And someone put in there.
I
Someone
really
put 'em in
liked the little stone Indiana Jones style trap situation that you did. I thought that was really fun. Like it felt like a mix of Indiana Jones and like a Zelda game. And
Yeah.
I was like, this is so fun, like as a player to explore, because this show is so much more RP focused than it is like game mechanic focused, just because of the nature of it. Like we can't prep.
Yeah.
So having that in like an episode felt so like exciting and cool.
Yeah. Traps are hard too. Traps and puzzles.
Yes. Yeah.
Especially theater of the mind traps and puzzles.
Yeah. And so I
I
didn't want to make it so it was the thing where it would just like kill you if you stepped on the wrong thing.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. How do you guys approach doing puzzles? Because that's something I've always wanted to get better at as a DM, and I've never know how to approach prepping any type of puzzle or like, I don't know, like riddle type thing where it's not just like either stupidly easy or like completely unattainable, and
Yeah.
the DM basically has to like hint you to the answer.
I just think like because the only DMing I've done is on this podcast, because of the style of how we do it, I've avoided all kinds of like puzzles and
They're very
riddles and
hard.
things like that, just because I'm like, we don't have prep time.
Yeah.
But like, and I've had different ideas that I'd like to do, but I'm like, I need to flesh it out and make sure that I like see every different outcome that could happen so that I'd be prepared for that. So I feel like in this game, I can't really, I don't want to, obviously, you know, we have around 10 minutes to prep, but I'm like, okay, I can't do that. And I don't want to, you know, be untrue to what we do in the game or our format. Right. So I've avoided it completely. So I'm curious what you guys would say, at least on this, for this podcast specifically, but then for those of you who have DM'd outside of here,
Sure.
like how you would approach that.
Yeah. Well, for me, I agree. Puzzles are so hard, especially theater of the mind puzzles, because like you have to, especially when it's like an Indiana Jones-esque like room is the puzzle. It's hard to like make sure that everyone understands exactly what the room looks like
You
without
have to be so
taking it. You have to be so specific.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the only other way that you really could theoretically do something like that is like some riddle or something, and then the riddle's got to be good. And with the style of this show, it can be tough. Josiah, I think you pulled it off, but like it can be really tough to, come up with like a good riddle that makes sense, that answers the question. But I will say I've DM'd a lot of like prepped games, and there are a lot of really great books out there. Like I have one that's just full of traps and puzzles. I think the other thing that I get worried about is like a lot of traps and puzzles are just like, at least from like, no offense, shout out D&D, but like at least from like D&D rule books, like core campaign books and stuff, a lot of them are just like, roll an intelligence check, and if it's over this, then you solve the puzzle. And it's like, that's so lame. But there are books like other books that are like I forget what the word is I'm looking for, but they're not core rule books or anything, but there are additional books that you can buy that have some great ones in there. I've told everybody here a little bit. I've been prepping a game that I would love to run someday, and that's like a big emphasis that I'm actually doing, is like the puzzles and traps and things like that, because I'm trying. I've realized recently, and I think this is fun to talk about, so I'm excited that this got brought up. I feel like actually with D&D, a lot of games are either like fight or role play. And I like recently was just like, there's like a whole nother area that I think is super hard to do well, but if you can do it, and it just takes more prep, then like there's a completely new area of like puzzles and traps and like working as a team to like solve things that I think is not necessarily hit on a ton in a lot of D&D games. Which is like a third kind of area that I think would be really fun. So I've been messing around with a lot of puzzles and traps recently, homebrewed and getting inspiration from like some of the books I was mentioning, but they're tough. Because the other thing too is like you're making puzzles and traps for people who are magical beings that theoretically could just like solve it by like shooting fire out of their hands or whatever. So they have to be even more specific, or they have to be like, hey, or you have to make them of like, hey, if someone has a fire spell and wants to kind of get around it, you got to be okay with that. But they're tough.
As the DM, if you can tailor it to the strengths and the weaknesses of the players, it becomes more fun, but it makes it more complicated. I like that you mentioned the rolling the intelligence check thing, because I think that's something that is an interesting balance, and I never know, like depending on who I'm playing with, will do different things of like relying on your own intelligence of as a player to figure things out, and then using the rolls to kind of confirm it, versus, do I know anything about this? I'd like to figure it out. Roll intelligence says you succeed. Okay, you figure out this, and like you have the DM tell you, and like those two different styles of like relying more on your own. It's a little more immersive in terms of like trying to do it yourself with your own intellect versus like a stat roll and being told the answer. And so I think that's like an interesting thing with puzzles of like, what do you leave up to the roll, and then what do you leave up for the actual players to, because you want if you're DMing, you want your players to feel smart,
and you know I think one of them is a lot easier for the DM, which is just have them roll, because the other thing too is like you got to plan for like, what if they don't figure it out, and like they just get stumped, like obviously you just be like, all right, well, I'm gonna give them some help, or like let them roll to figure out some stuff. But like there is that like pressure of like, this has to be easy enough that like if I didn't have all the pieces, which I do while planning this, people could still figure it out. But then also like and so like there's the other side of you just make them roll, and if they get it. But I feel like the memorable traps and puzzles and things are the ones that like the players actually have to work together and talk through it instead of just roll something. I think in any moment of D&D, I think that's the case. Even like when sometimes it'll come down to a roll, but it's like getting to that decision of why you're rolling Like,
Yeah.
if it's a big fight and you roll a natural 20, what's super cool about that is someone decides, like, I'm going to jump up on this dragon's head and stab him in the head with my battle axe.
Yeah.
And then you roll the natural 20, you know?
Yeah.
Well-
it's not just like, roll, see if you hit. You hit. Ta-da!
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and bringing it back to the episode, Josiah, what you did really well with puzzle, which I really like, and what you were saying, Joe, is like it's this idea of like risk reward. Like the more risk you take, the more rewarding the outcome is when you succeed, or the more
As
dramatic,
a DM, yeah.
or even as a player.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But like, or the more dramatic the failure is, and like interesting the failure is. And so like the reason why that puzzle was fun isn't because it was complex. Like it was so simple, but the initial like kind of inciting moment of like there's a puzzle and there's something we have to figure out was
Right.
Wendy stepping on a stone that felt sort of like a landmine. So immediately it was like, oh gosh, don't move, we have to figure this out. It had this emotional stake from the very beginning. It's like this risk reward thing. So like it was simple, but it was still really fun because it had this like emotional tie-in.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a really good way to do it. If you're like, I need this to be simple, but like my players just still care about it and
Right.
be like, oh, this is lame.
Yeah, actually, I have a question. Did you have, because you wrote that riddle out or whatever, like towards, was that part of the small prep time that you wrote that? Or
Yeah.
I figured. So like it wasn't like halfway through, you're like, I'm going to wing this.
The riddle?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the riddle was the thing, like, there were a couple of things that I wrote down, and I can pull up exactly where I wrote down. I think this is a cool idea, and I'm going to start doing this. If we talk about an episode of IDM, I'm just going to pull up exactly what I wrote down.
Oh, I like
when
that. What did you
planned it.
start with and then
Yeah.
where did it go?
Like,
yeah.
I'll tell you
That's
exactly
fun.
what I started with.
Yeah, so for listeners, we give each other about like 5-10 minutes if they need it. Sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's a few minutes longer. Just to like, because, you know, you got to have something.
Yeah,
Can't
get your thoughts
completely fly
together.
blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not, I know it seems like we're just saying go and then starting, but no, we're just a
We
little
give 'em-
break.
but like truly, we
Yeah.
keep it pretty short. We're trying to stay true to our format.
With the power of video editing software, though, we are able to cut that time out.
Video
With the
editing.
power of
video
Yeah, these go on YouTube. Shout out to the YouTube channel.
Sponsor us.
Yeah, no, it's just shout out YouTube channel.
Imagine being a big enough YouTuber that you were sponsored by YouTube.
That'd be
Are there
crazy.
people that
Yeah.
are?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
They're
I
like
think there are.
who?
Well, there are like channels that will like interview like the CEO of YouTube, and then they promote it and stuff. So I guess in a way, and then there's probably just channels that are
The YouTube channel itself is funny to me too.
yeah, that is
You
kind
know
of
what I
wild.
mean?
The
Anyway.
YouTube channel's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
The YouTube channels.
About YouTube channel updates. I'm like, oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right,
Josiah.
what'd you write?
Put that. Okay. So I wrote, I started the new one for season 2, episode 9, and I wrote down steampunk, message in a bottle.
That
And
was
then-
the genre and hook.
Yep. So I wrote those down,
Good
and then
prep,
I
good
wrote
prep.
down steampunk pirate ship, and then underneath it are bullet points: gears everywhere and water powered elements,
Okay.
self propelling, moth stuff, and Captain Matthias Dread.
Oh, I like that. So you
And
started
that's-
with that.
And
Yeah.
then
And then I wrote bottle message, and then underneath I just wrote the message in the bottle: find the vessel of the captain held down that lies neath Dread's furious frown. The ship once returned to the blue, your ally and your needed crew. And then
Love
the rest
it.
of the note taking is
It's so
just,
fun.
I guess, like AC and like the stuff from the fight and
yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
order and all that.
Did you come up with the riddle on your own, or did you like?
Yeah, I wrote it on my own
Nice.
Yeah. because I decided that I wanted Dread to have a brother
Yeah,
that
that's
you
cool.
guys encounter, and
Yeah.
like I was like, that'd be cool if there's an ally there and there's like something that kind of pushes that along.
My
So I
favorite
was like,
part-
let's give him a brother, a good guy brother who's trapped.
my favorite part, and we haven't
Okay.
gotten into this yet, obviously, in the show, and we don't know what the answer is. But I love the idea that, like, 'cause we do talk about it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but do we talk about like cat or evil Dread, imprisoned good guy Dread, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love the idea that evil Dread put his brother in a box,
Yeah.
and then he goes, first off, I gotta hide this thing that's gonna free him. So I'm gonna go put it in a video game factory box somewhere. And then he goes, but it can't be that hard. so I'm gonna put this message in a bottle on the beach, and I'm not saying
we
that
don't
he
know
did
if
it.
the message in the bottle was him.
Well, and that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
It wouldn't have been him.
That's
because that
what
wouldn't make
that's
sense.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But what's
But the
funny to me
idea
to
of
think
it-
about is
Yeah.
because we don't actually know. Theoretically, the brother is just like, I'm gonna put this here, put this bottle here, and no one will find it.
Yeah. That is a fun element that you introduced. I just like that you had like started connecting some of the moth stuff that we'd added, because I
Yeah.
feel like we added it and was like, who knows? That's for the next
Yeah.
person to figure out. And like we've been doing that so much to the point now we're like, who's gonna figure it out? And so I like that
Yeah.
you started connecting it. I've already like come up with like, or at least I'm trying to come up in case I DM of like, okay, like how would it be connected? Why would it be in the ogre box land? Why would it be like, why was Sir Dread like connected to his ship? Like why, like
Yeah.
trying to think of all those ways. So I like that you started that, because I feel like we had so many like questions and it was like, we need to answer some of them. So we started doing that
Yeah.
this episode, which was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's with the like idol or the trophy thing that free dread.
Right.
Well, I don't know if I should mention this. No, I should. It's the same one that unlocked Ralph,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It
there's
did?
something,
Yeah.
there's a thread to pull there
Yeah.
of
But we don't have it anymore, right?
no, it's
It's on the ship.
it's on the ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was the same thing that was able to unlock. It was able to unlock that AI thing.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait, the door knocker did.
No, it's the pedestal.
I don't know. I don't remember.
No, because the pedestal was still corrupted at that point. It would
I have no memory, to be perfectly honest.
I don't remember
We
either.
can cut
I
this
take back
part.
what I said.
Yeah,
I have
Okay,
no
cut all
idea.
this.
cut it.
Yeah.
But I will
Just so
say,
you can
just for
see
you
the
guys,
thing
we
with the
should
spike.
we should try to figure out which one it was, because I feel like that'll be important
We should.
for
All right.
continuity.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
That seems wise.
Well,
Funny.
Alyssa, how did you
Okay.
feel about this episode when Joe was like,
I hate
put
you.
the pedestal on the book?
I put the pedestal on the book.
I mean, yeah. I looked at you.
I was like,
Seconds to realize
I picked up the whole thing. Whole
well,
dang
because
thing.
also you were dealing with a big character moment right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess no more than Ace, but for some reason it felt
well,
particularly
every character's big to Juniper.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ace is a bigger character than June. June's
Yeah, I appreciate you got that.
I think,
But I just feel like there's been more talks about trust with June and
yeah.
June and Cal.
Yeah.
And so that's why the betrayal felt so like
Yeah.
acute to
Yeah,
her.
absolutely. I think it was weird to, yeah, I don't know. She kept like storming out and just like leaving and stuff. But yeah, once Joe put the book on the pedestal, well, first of all, I was like,
You mean the pedestal in the book?
When I put the pedestal on the book,
yeah.
Sorry.
first of all, I was like, you did that wrong.
when he put the whirl in the wind.
First I was like, well, I was
So cheesy.
Well, first I was just thinking about how June was going to react to the fact that Cal left on a mission without them. I was like, oh my gosh, no way.
Yeah.
And then I
Dude,
was
same.
like,
I was also like, oh my gosh, no way.
I know. But then I was like, dang, I don't get to be in this episode.
Aw.
Because like just I was DMing, so he was in it to a certain degree, and obviously you two were going on the adventure. So I was just kind of like, well, so I was kind of settling in. I didn't think that you were going to figure out a way for us to go, Josiah.
Yeah.
So I was like bummed, but also I was like ready for, something different and unique. But yeah, it was super interesting. Yeah. I feel like she went through a whole gambit of like feelings about the whole thing, and also just because like she's like mad at him, and then she kind of just like forgets about it and is acting normal, and then is like upset again, like I feel
And
like
then the
she's
whole
just-
dread thing.
yeah, the whole dread
happens.
thing was freaky, and she just stayed as a hyena for a while.
Yeah.
And so I think I think she's just going through it, and she just like doesn't even know what to do. So yeah.
Might be some interesting character choices coming up.
There
listener.
just might be.
There might be.
Whoa.
Meaning there's a chance there isn't.
Well, there is.
It'd be wild if there just wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, there are character
Yeah.
choices in
There
every
are
episode.
characters, and they make choices. I'll tell you what.
I tell you what.
I'll tell you right now.
I don't think we've ever talked about an episode longer on a bunker.
No.
This is amazing.
Yeah, we
And
said a
you
lot
know
of things
what?
about
Granted, this is
specifically
a
the
good one to
episode.
talk a long time
Yeah,
about.
yeah. We skipped trivia.
No, we didn't. We can do it right now.
Well, we normally do it in the beginning, and we didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's still a relatively new segment, so I think we can say.
We forgot.
That's
Well, I think we
Yeah.
could just say
This is the
we're
second
doing
bunker
it
in a
after
row.
The discussion today.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
You know?
The second
Yeah.
bunker in a row that we forgot.
we
portion
didn't
of the
forget
trivia.
it, guys. I knew it the whole time.
We forgot last time to finish it, though. and
Yeah,
then we
you had to record an
re-record.
apology.
Yeah, we did forget that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Give me my trivia.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
This is really loud.
Could you read it super, super slow, though? Like cartoonishly slow.
In volume 1, I forget to say this every time. Listeners, we are taking a look back in this season of Bunkers to the last season or the last volume of episodes and doing a little bit of trivia for them.
Trivia.
So today we're looking at chapter 9, Don't Shoot the Messenger. This was a fun one. This was like
yeah.
World War II with dragons and elves and,
This was a good
and
one.
orcs and goblins and crazy stuff.
Joe, this was a fun one from you, I think,
Thanks.
in
Thank
terms
you
of
very
just
much.
like
I think.
This was
Yeah.
a fun one.
Like
I like
we
the
did a
idea
lot
of
in the
World
time
War
frame.
II fighting dragons.
Yeah,
that's kind of
yeah,
that's
it's
kind of
cool.
badass.
Yeah.
You know. Anyways, in chapter 9, Don't Shoot the Messenger, the group is sent to some sort of an old wartime into the middle of a war zone where we see Edna almost fall to a gunshot, and then the group do surgery on her to get it out.
Oh, yeah.
We
That's right.
learn, we meet a couple individuals who are from a place called the Firmament. And then towards the end of the episode, we make a run for it. We make a break for it to go meet, for the first time, Iterum, who was a large silver dragon flying around fighting planes. Spoilers. On the way to go actually meet Iterum, there is a moment where we run through the battlefield, and Juniper turns into a giant sort of beast. But it wasn't her normal hyena. It was something else. What was it called?
I think I remember.
Huh.
I think.
And we'll let them have a few minutes to think about it, write it down.
Oh.
Listeners, feel free to also put it in the comments, send us a text. We can't respond to your text, but we read them.
And I will respond
And
to your
Alyssa
text
will
on
respond to your
podcast.
text on the podcast.
I'm committing that to you
Yeah.
right now.
Yes, unless you're watching listening to this in the past, then she will not be, because we're not going to go back in time.
No, but I'll respond to it in the future.
Maybe in the future. So, anyways, that is our trivia for the week.
Very good.
We'll see what the answer is at the end.
I like how the questions have now become like a fully encompassed summary of this episode. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's fun. Like I like kind of forgot about that episode.
Yeah.
Me too.
And then you brought it back up. And I was like, oh.
Oh.
Bring it home.
Oh.
There we go.
Well, I think it's time for an ad break.
Yeah.
Guys, I've got
Well,
terrible
do you know the question?
news.
I do know the question.
Well, then you can say it.
What's
Um,
the terrible news?
Oh. I thought it'd be really novel.
This is
if
horrible
we-
news. Our advertisement music is gone. It's not here anymore. I have to pick a new song. I'm going in blind.
No, that was the best. Did they
Are
take
you
it
sure?
off?
Do you remember
I
what it
can't
was
find it
called?
anywhere.
Do you remember what it was called?
Well, I looked up the same exact thing every single time, and I looked it up this time, and it's not
they
there.
probably just added new stuff to the search prompt.
Well, no, I have. It's not on
You didn't
Art
save
List.
it?
It's on YouTube.
Oh.
Probably got taken down because it wasn't. What's it called?
Who has the ad?
This is so...
No, I love this. This is great.
I don't know who has it.
I think.
Alyssa, I think you do.
I think. Alyssa does.
Is that wait? The ad copy's flying right now. It's flying circles. Whose lap is it going to land in?
Whoa!
Oh my goodness!
Alyssa's lap!
Wow! Look at
I
that.
can't believe it's here.
It chose you.
It chose me. And folks, I just can't wait to tell you about this great company.
Well, you
that
don't
we
have to wait.
partnered
It's
with.
right there. You can do it.
I
now.
just can't wait to start. Today we are talking to.
Well, we know who we're talking to.
We
but what
all
are we
know.
telling them
You.
about? Okay.
We're talking to you, listener, about Super Bits. Super Bits is the new chips, and they are so cool.
What kind of chips? Microchips? Potato chips? What kind of chips?
Josiah, you name it, they have it.
Oh,
Any
really?
type of
Wow.
chip that you can think of, they've got them.
Never-
Chocolate chips, microchips,
Man.
potato chips, freaking carrot chips,
Banana chip.
banana chips.
And that's why they're called
Wood
Super
chips.
Bits.
Yep.
I've never seen a company have their hands in two drastically different verticals.
Microchips
That's
and
insane.
foods. I know. They just
Electronics
thought-
and snacks.
They
Yeah.
listen. Their founder was
And
just
home ownership with the wood
Uh-huh.
chips.
That's a
Yep.
good point.
So
Wow.
true.
I guess it's home ownership.
Paint
Home-
chips?
Construction.
Paint chips. They've got
Oh.
'em. So here's what they've done. They've gone, I love chips. Favorite word. And they have adopted
So they
every
called it
chip that
Super
they could
Bits.
find. So
Really?
they called it Super Bits. And so they have sponsored us today. And man, are we glad they did.
Shout out you,
Yeah.
Super Bits.
Shout out Super Bits.
Wait, I think Laura's got an example one. Yeah, tell us about the one you got there on your shoulder.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah, this chip on my shoulder is me being out on an ad I wasn't supposed to read.
And you could get your own chip on your shoulder with Super Bits.
Super Bits. They are offering a huge sale right now. Head on over to their website and you're gonna find out what it is.
Huge sale.
Huge sale.
Huge sale. You know their website.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I think that was my worst one.
It got better with time.
I don't think that was your worst one.
Which one was the worst one?
that was worse.
Wait, I think I know what you're thinking of.
Wait, which one was
one?
worse?
I
She's
can't
definitely
remember.
thinking of a specific one.
Wait, do you know which one it is?
I think. Well, okay. Wait a minute. Maybe I don't.
All right.
Sorry, that was really anticlimactic.
There was another one.
It,
That you
it had
did
such
this
a strange
season.
name
Yeah.
that I just don't.
But I don't remember what it's called. But
oh,
it
It
was,
was like
this season.
hibbity bibbits bobbity boots.
That was my best one. Are you kidding?
Oh,
Yeah, it was
man.
funny. Look, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I
you're
just
right, it
wasn't
was.
ready. I wasn't ready. I read bad.
Shout out Super Bits.
It,
Yeah,
they
that's
they wrote
super
it a bit too small, you could say.
It was hard for me to read it.
I can't breathe.
Get out.
Breathe,
All right.
Use your mouth.
Get
Breathe
out.
through your
Do we
mouth.
pod deck now?
Get out.
Can I
Yeah.
roll for the pod deck? I don't think I
Let's
ever
do
have.
it. Oh,
No.
I don't think
Joe,
so.
I'll roll
roll
instead,
for
actually.
the pod deck.
I don't have dice.
Yeah, you're supposed to hold the decks.
What?
And then you give
They're
to Laura.
so far away. Have Alyssa hold them. They're right there, close to her. Two of them.
Alyssa
are.
held them the last 2 times.
I did.
It's fine. Oh, she threw them. Ah.
And there's another one right there.
there's only 3.
Yes, there's
Oh.
one there.
Oh,
Oh my god.
she's hitting
There should
my
be
mic
one more.
every time.
Where's the fifth one?
I don't know.
Joe.
What?
It's your beat.
Liza probably stole it. She definitely stole it. She definitely stole it.
Turns around, just digs a hole in the ground, and
I
crawls
drew
away.
2. All right, rolled a 2.
Well, okay, but we're missing a deck.
Whatever.
Just
We're
count.
missing the black deck.
Count the second one.
Okay,
Either direction.
It's up to you.
1, 2.
It's up to me. I two blue.
Okay.
All right, now you give it to Laura.
Oh,
Yep. And then Laura fans. And then Alyssa choose. Alyssa read.
Alyssa, choose. I read.
No.
You read?
No.
Who read?
Alyssa.
Oh,
If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
You
I
can't
don't
do
like
it.
this bit.
You
That's my
can't
bit.
do it like Josiah.
And I still read it. If you're paying
Yeah,
attention,
that was-
you
that
still
was
can't.
I
pretty
did
murmured.
read it.
That
Go
was
ahead.
pretty murmured.
If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life.
What would it be?
Burger.
Wait, I have a
Fish.
question. I have a question out the front gate.
I know what the question is.
Ingredient or meal?
That's a great
No
question.
ingredient.
Okay.
We've
Food.
definitely had this one before because Laura said fish.
We
remember?
have actually. No. New one.
Yeah, we did this one last season.
Did
we?
Yeah.
Wait.
I
I changed my answer.
I think I said fish.
I
Yeah,
changed
you
my
said
answer.
fish.
I get Taco Bell.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys, we got a bonus pod deck this week.
Well, we didn't even
This
answer
is
the
super
first
rare.
one.
Never
Oh,
happens.
okay. I mean, I guess. Is a hot dog a sandwich and why?
I heard a really good argument for this one time,
That
and
it's a taco. Have you heard that?
No,
It is definitely more taco than not.
I would agree. It's probably more taco.
I don't think the shape or the form is what makes a taco a taco.
However,
I think that's true.
does the item inside the bun being one specific thing instead of like a bunch of things put together make it a hot dog? Like a sandwich is multiple
Yeah.
things
I'm
slash a
going.
spread.
It's no, it's not a sandwich.
Like a BLT
I'm,
is to a
I'm
sandwich
actually
is
going
a hot
with
dog to a
I'm actually
sandwich.
going with sandwich
You know what I
because
mean?
if you call a sub a
Yeah.
sandwich, you have to call a hot dog
Kinda.
a sandwich.
But
Like
I
it's a
call a
type of
sub a
sandwich.
sub.
Maybe.
You wouldn't call it a sandwich.
But I'm saying
I don't think
it's
so.
not
a sub
a
is a
sandwich.
type of sandwich for sure.
Yeah,
A sub is a
but
type of sandwich.
Yeah, and in the
It
same
is a sub.
in that
It's
same
It's the way
vein,
that
I
the
don't think it's a
sandwich is the
sub.
top, then the sub versus open face versus panini are like types of sandwiches, and then below that you have like the like.
no, that's true. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Wait, like
wait,
the-
what was the third type of sandwich you said?
I said sub,
Uh-huh.
open face, panini.
Padini? Did you say
said-
Padini?
You said Padini.
Padini.
And Josiah and I both didn't move our heads. We both just went. Padini.
Part
Padini.
of my nose
That's
right
mean.
now.
We
My
both
nose
just-
is stuffed up. Oh my
Wow,
gosh.
rude.
Josiah and I just on
Padini.
another wavelength.
Padini.
We were on another wavelength. We didn't even move our heads.
And then below that, you have your like types of paninis. You
Yeah.
have your types of like open face and subs. You have your types of, and so I think personally, the hot dog fits within the subsection
Yeah.
of sub.
Yeah,
Subsection.
Whoa.
it is the sub
I
section.
think a hot dog is a type of sandwich.
Yeah,
It's also a type of sub,
I concur.
which
Okay.
is might be even more of a hot take. Honestly,
So you're thinking more Venn diagram situation.
yeah,
No.
No.
Pyramid.
No, but
Yeah.
she said it's.
family tree.
Family tree.
But
Yeah.
it would also be a crossover.
Oh, mate. I mean.
Yeah, no,
Um,
there'd be
yeah,
a
I
Venn
guess
diagram.
so. Yeah, Venn
version
diagram
of
would
this.
She's,
work.
well, she's providing reasoning for saying that. She's providing the grounds by which she claims that a hot dog is a sandwich. and
Josiah
that
just
is
got really
a hot dog
serious.
is a type of sub, and a sub is a sandwich. Therefore, the hot dog is a
Yeah.
sandwich.
But what is the therefore?
No,
That was a good question. Thanks for asking that.
Anytime. I'm
It was
here to
there
help.
for clarity.
Oh,
A
thank-
word in the
Yeah.
English language used to
It was-
describe the
yeah,
process of
it was
reasoning.
therefore making you
Wow.
sound smart.
Man, we're
There.
really smart, guys.
Go there.
Thor.
We
So
are.
there.
Guys, I'm really smart. Well,
Wait, what do you all think?
I don't know. I feel like in one area it's like in a world of its own because it is specifically one item inside of the bun that is like a specific item. For example, like a hamburger you don't call a sandwich, you call it a hamburger. And it's like kind of like that for me where I'm like it's almost
its own
in a,
thing.
It's almost in a category of its own. However, if I were gonna put it in another category, I would lean taco or sub.
But isn't a taco specifically
A tortilla.
a tortilla because
Yeah.
it's specifically I don't want to say it's specifically Mexican, Spanish?
Yeah, but
Actually, what is the like the
Origin.
origin of tacos? Is it from
I don't know.
I always just think Mexican because that's the closest to where we live of like
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know where it
I have no
actually
idea.
originally is.
of like good tacos, you know? But like wow.
wow.
Wow, everyone. I think we've just solved...
Mexico. Tacos are from Mexico.
Oh, okay. I think we just solved some really big problems.
We really did.
tonight. We accomplished a lot.
Hopefully
I'm
you
proud of
guys
us.
were here for this, listeners, because this was big.
Hopefully you're here.
Hopefully you're here, listeners. Hopefully you made it this far. Well, very cool. What's
Alrighty.
next? Trivia. Unless you had. Oh no, we have
Trivia.
takes. We have takes.
Take of the week.
Sure. Alyssa, you have a take?
I do.
Okay.
I wore mismatching socks today, and it was kind of fun.
Very good.
Do you want to see?
No.
Okay.
Laura?
I went for a walk and it was very peaceful.
Oh, love that. Yeah.
Great weather out here.
Yeah.
Just
Josiah?
Are we doing reviews?
Take of the week.
Take
Take
of the week. Careful with that. It's just loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take of the week?
Take of the week. I have to see if I can remember any details from my week.
Joe, take of the week.
All right. My take of the week is I've been selling old Pokemon cards on eBay and it rocks.
Nice. Josiah, take of the week.
Oh.
It could be super... It could
Last
be
night.
lame.
Last night was a nice night, and so I went and sat outside, had a little whiskey and a cigar.
With me.
Yes, with you. And the whiskey I had was from Fallen Oak, which is a local distillery, and it was excellent.
Love that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very
Very
good.
good.
Good job, Fallen Oak.
Shout
Very
out
nice.
Fallen Oak.
Shout out one time.
Shout out
Very
one
nice.
time. Just once. Just once.
Just one, not too many.
No.
And my sister has a question for us. And I'm not sure if we've talked about this at all, but I had dinner with her tonight, and we were just talking about I was explaining what a dice goblin is, and how I just need to keep buying more and more dice, and I
Yes.
buy specific dice for my characters.
Good
And so
question.
she
I
was
know where
like,
this is
"Hey,
going.
question for the podcast. What character dice did you all get, and what do they
Yeah.
look like,
Aw.
and why did you get them?"
I love that.
This is a good question.
That's a very good question.
Okay.
I have specific dice for this.
I do too.
Yeah.
Mine are, I have two sets. I have one that's black, but when the light hits them, they're sparkly blue.
These are specific cow dice, right?
Yes, these are my cow dice. They're black, sparkly blue, and then I have another set that are a clear blue with gold foil in them, and they both just kind of
cool.
match, or they're both the pictures of what I assume the color of the whirlwind magic is, and that's my
Nice.
cow dice.
So I got my Edna dice, and it's still the same set that I use because OG character, starting off the
Yeah.
podcast. Maybe I'll get some.
You should get some Wendy dice eventually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I will.
We'll do a trip to our local. We have a local place we love to go for
Yeah.
rocks.
D&D stuff, so we'll go there.
Yeah.
Third Eye, shout out.
Yeah, so that's where I got the first set from Third Eye. Was just a blue and black sort of marbly looking dice that I really like. Just because the Whirlwind is blue,
Yeah,
and I was perfect.
love it.
Some simple blue dice, and then my Edna dice are orange, and I got those from the Red Fair, which was really fun.
Oh, yeah, I
that
love
is
that.
fun.
So that was a good day, walking around. They have so many cool shops.
Yeah, I didn't buy any there. I should have bought some.
Yeah, they have. I mean, the actual D&D stuff is kind of hard to find. Actually,
Yeah, I didn't
it's
see
a
any
lot
of it.
more artisan type stuff of
Sure.
actual welders bringing their wares and
Right.
actual jewelry makers and stuff. So there's a lot more of that stuff, which I think is just so cool. But there's this one little shop that sells D&D dice and stuff. So I got my
Nice.
my set of orange.
Very
dice.
cool.
Yeah, they know they know the clientele
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they're
yeah.
gonna be getting there.
Yeah.
Friend fair.
Josiah?
So I have two sets. I only bought one of them. So the one that I actually bought for Ace is these. They're kind of a dark forest green, but they're also black, so they're speckled with both, and so the texture of it kind of looks like one is among the trees.
Yes.
And then the numbers are like a gold. So that was a kind of obvious, he was a jungle forest boy. So that's where that came from. And then I have these miniature copper metal ones that a coworker at the time of this show starting bought for me for my birthday.
Aw.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
So those are my 2 sets that I have.
Nice. I have.
Or wait, I'm so sorry. There is one more set that I forgot that I have a third set of dice for Whirlwind.
Okay.
And I keep all 3 of these sets in like one of these dice scrolls, by the way. It's really fun. But the third set is the first. This might be the first set of dice I ever bought for D&D. They're these metal ones that are like blue. It's like blue and purple, and like the lines on them and the numbers are silver. So it's basically like silver metal dice, but with like purple and blue like inlay, and so it kind of like reminds me of like the familiar blue energy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Nice.
yeah, those are my Whirlwind
Nice.
dice.
So,
Alyssa?
mine are. I have 2 sets as well, but I mostly use these ones. They are like a really pale green with gold foil, but more like swirled in there, like shiny gold glitter kind of swirled, like, and they're not swirl core dices. They're not liquid core, but they're like shiny, and then they have really dark green numbers. I really like those. And then I have another set. I collect the ones that kind of look like bone dice. That's how I like to refer to them.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like they look like bones. I think they're so cool, and I get 1 set of those for every character I have, usually 2. And the set that I have for June is a really dark green with like a little bit of a like black. It's like dull. They look.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're the bone dice. If you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about, you
they're like
know, but-
washed almost.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a denim wash kind
Yeah.
of situation,
Like
or
stone
acid,
wash.
acid wash, stone wash. Yeah, stone. They could be called. You could call them stone dice.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But they're not stone. They're plastic.
Very cool.
They look like a stone.
But I like them a lot. Those are the dice that I have.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
That was a great
Thanks
question.
so much.
Yeah.
Shout out Izzy.
Shout out one time.
Shout
Izzy.
out Izzy.
Yeah.
And feel free to send us your questions, and we will read them on the bunker.
Yeah.
Whirlwind Chronicles at gmail.com.
Yeah. I promise.
Or text us.
I promise. I promise.
Or comment.
It's true.
You promise what?
I'm just promising. I'm making that promise now
Oh,
What promise?
to the people who write in.
Oh.
I'm promising them.
What are you promising them?
Exactly. I'm making
This
it
is
right
so
now.
confusing.
I'm making this promise
I
right
think
now
that's
to
the
you.
point.
I think
Oh,
the
okay.
point is that no one knows what the promise
So
is.
comment on
I'm-
YouTube.
So he's going to keep it.
I'm
Comment
gonna keep. I'll
on
keep my word if you
Ins-
keep yours.
comment on YouTube. Comment on Instagram. Comment on Spotify.
Send us a text.
Send us a text through the Spotify. You can see it on our Spotify page and on our.
Yeah.
Is it on Apple Podcast?
Yeah.
The send us a text. I couldn't remember if the send
It's
us a
everywhere.
text is on there. Oh, great.
Yeah. And as
or
always,
email us at
yeah.
whirlwindchronicles@gmail.com.
whirlwindchronicles@gmail.com.
Not know the
No the. There's no the at
Simply
the beginning. Just
Whirlwind
Chronicles
Chronicles
at gmail.com.
One
Make
more
sure you
time. That's
double check.
whirlwindchronicles@gmail.com.
You're going to want to double
It's
check how you're
time
spelling
for
Chronicles, because that can be confusing
trivia.
sometimes. And as always, don't forget, you
you're cute.
absolutely should start a conversation with Just Joe in our YouTube comment section. He will engage in that conversation.
That's right.
with
I'll
you.
engage. Hello. Back to trivia.
We're
So in chapter 9 of volume 1, Don't Shoot the Messenger, the group goes on this crazy adventure through a war zone, really. And as they're running to meet Iterum, who is currently wild-shaped or transformed into a giant silver dragon, they are running through a field, and Juniper turns into a specific type of creature that she hasn't actually ever turned into before this episode. What was that creature? Alyssa?
You want me to go first?
We'll have Josiah go
Yeah.
first.
I wrote boar.
Okay.
More.
I wrote Direwolf.
Alyssa.
I said Moorbounder.
Ooh.
Oh, I think that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Interesting.
I was going to say, because it's something scary.
Scary.
But I was like, it's not a direwolf, but I feel like that's the closest I could think
Well,
of.
let's
Yeah.
listen.
Being a tiny little goblin carrying like a tiefling.
Well, I mean, I would turn into a Moorbounder, you know.
Oh, I think I can do it.
All right.
I think I got it.
Okay, it's a backup.
Oh, this is the wrong part, but actually you do turn into a Moorbounder. I got the wrong piece of the transcript. But you were right.
Score.
She does end up turning into a moorbounder.
I get sad every time I listen to myself play Eddie because I just go, I want to play Eddie. Again.
She's still out there, Laura.
I get
Yeah.
sad for
No,
it,
she's
too.
dead.
No, she's out there,
super
Laura.
dead, dude.
Do you truly?
I mean, I want her to come back, but
She could be out there, guys.
I mean, she was
That'd be
shot dead.
crazy.
She
mean,
could
there's-
be out
it
there.
was
She
on
we
got
talked to
absorbed
her.
into the freaking observatory.
No, we talked to her, remember?
Absorbatory.
Well, she was a traveler like Prospera, you
Yeah.
know, who like disappeared
True.
when he died. So
Maybe
it would make
Prospero's
sense
still out
that when
there.
she dies, that's what happened. So she's probably most likely
But
dead.
we'll see.
Laura's like, guys, she's dead.
Hey, never say never. Oh, Laura doesn't want to play 2K.
All right.
Well,
She's
now
less the-
I'm playing Wendy.
No, but we
So,
miss Eddie very, very much.
The current scores are Laura with 10, Alyssa with 7, and Josiah with 8. Alyssa's making a little bit of a comeback.
I'm not good. I'm not good with the details.
Well, you're making a small comeback. You were down by 2. You were the only one to get it this week.
Wow.
All right. Well, that's our show.
Thanks for listening. I'm so sorry. I'm so plugged up. I'm sorry. Wait, cut that.
Well, guys, see
Wait,
you next
we have to
time.
start over. That's not okay.
Well, guys, I think that's our episode.
That's it. We'll see you next time
On the Whirlwind
Sayonara.
Chronicles.
on the Whirlwind
Bye
Chronicles.
bye. Adios. Buenas noches. Ciao. See ya.
Why are you looking at
You
me
gotta
like
hit
that?
the. You gotta stop the recording, dude.